Hey, everybody, welcome to the third episode of Dead Talk. Two comic book dudes getting together here, talk about The Walking Dead. This is season 6, episode 3. The episode is entitled Thank You. So if you haven't watched it yet, you probably don't want to watch this because we are definitely going to talk spoilers. Just so much happened in this episode, we can't not spoil stuff. So if you haven't seen it yet, now's your chance to just pause, go watch the episode, come back and watch this.
Yeah. It's worth watching, so it needs to be watched.
Yeah. So, okay. So now you've paused and you come back and you're watching us now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Talking Dead does the same thing. He's like, this is your chance. I'll count down. I'm like, I'm not giving you a countdown because you're not kindergartners. But if you are kindergartners and you're watching this, then your parents need to be talked to. Seriously.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Aaron, editor-in-chief of Comic Booked.
Hey, everybody. Justin, managing editor over Comic Book.
And I apologize. I'm a little stuffy, so if I'm sniffing, I apologize. I'm trying not to. It's like a habit I need to break. I've gone back and watched some of our old episodes, and I'm going all the time. It's like, oh, anyway.
You gotta breathe. So
I know. Yeah, it's okay. So right now it is 12:15 on Monday morning, I guess. We just watched the episode. Justin watched it a little later, which is fine. Just waited for that. We wanted to give you guys all on all coasts time enough to see this. I know there's some folks over in the UK that won't see it till tomorrow morning. I can't wait that long. So we got to get this out. This episode is called Thank You. And I think that there's a couple different meanings to that. As we go through the episode, but definitely the big one is at the end, and we'll just kind of go through what happened in the episode and cover that big shock ending of this episode when we get there.
Yeah.
So, it starts out with Michonne and Glenn leading this group of about 10 of the survivors or the folks from Alexandria away from the Horde. As you know, at the end of the first episode, they were leading the Horde out of the quarry and trying to get them around the city and about 20 miles out and then just let them go, hoping that would save everybody. But then there was some big horn. And last week we found that the horn was a semi-truck being run into the wall, and the horn of that truck stuck, basically. So the horn's going off. Everybody's freaking out. The Horde is moving towards the horn, which is completely off track of where they're trying to lead them, and everybody's freaking out. So everybody's running all directions. Abraham and Sasha and Daryl are still leading the Horde away, right up until the point where Daryl decides that he's got to take off. So, I still don't quite get all that because it's like Daryl's going to, I'm going to go do this. And then he takes off. And then about halfway through, he gets, tries to radio everybody. And he's talking with Rick and something's going on. And he doesn't know what. And so he turns around and heads back. So anyway, that's all. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, we start out with 10 people in that group of Michonne and Glenn. And that includes like Nicholas, Heath, Annie, and Paul, and a couple others that I really don't remember their names. And it's not necessary to remember their names anyway, because by the time the episode's over, they're all dead.
Yeah.
Not everybody in the group, but we go from 10 down to 3 by the time the episode's over. And this episode includes the death of a major character. I mean, somebody who's been with us since the beginning of the show, really. The second main character that we see in a way. So, well, not really, I guess, because we see Shane and Lori and everybody at the camp, but yeah, really the second character that we become acquainted with in a way. So the team, the reason Michonne and Glenn are leading that group is because Rick kind of split everybody up. So Rick said, you guys take off that way. I'm going to go back and get the RV. I'm going to circle around and I guess pick them up.
And pick up the strag, try to lead the zombies away with it, make noise with it.
Was that what he's going to do, or was he going to go around and pick them up when they came out the other side of the woods?
No, he was going to get it to lead the ones that were the zombies that were going through the woods to try to get them off, and then get them going back up the road again.
Okay. So I knew he had some different plan there, and that didn't exactly work out either. So we have really two different storylines that go on in this one. We have Well, 3, because we have the Rick storyline in the RV, we have Abraham, Sasha, and Daryl storyline, and then we have the Glenn and Michonne storyline. So, it's interesting because we do get to know some of the characters through this. I still don't know the name of the one guy, but as they're running away, basically 5 minutes after Rick leaves, that group gets attacked, and one of the guys gets bit. One of the guys shoots another one of the guys in the leg, and then he turns off and runs. And it's just terrible, So we got a bite victim, a shooting victim, and a scaredy cat that takes off. So we go immediately from 10 down to 7. Well, no, we had 9. I'm sorry, we had 9 down to 7, because the one guy got bit, so we know we're going to lose him, and then the other guy takes off. So they finally make their way to a pet shop in town. They kind of hunker down in that pet store for a little while, and the guy who got bit, he's writing out a little letter to his wife Betsy, so because he's one of the Alexandria folks, and he knows what's coming. It's pretty clear. And Michonne and him talk, and sort of talk. She writes on her arm, "You will make it home," basically, which he doesn't. So, but in a way, he sacrificed so that they can survive. It's kind of sad.
There's a lot of sacrifice going on.
There sure is, yeah. One of the girls twisted her ankle in the last episode as they were running in the first season, as they were running through the woods, and she gets absorbed by the horde at one point. It's just one thing after another, and in the end, it really the group gets split. So Glenn and Nicholas, and the whole thing with Nicholas. I mean, we know he was involved in that whole mess with Noah and everybody. He ran, and Noah got caught in the door, and he, Noah got eaten. So, not that I wasn't too sad about that, but it was kind of a shocker. Like, yeah, but no, I mean, he killed Tyrese. So. It was sad. Yeah. Well, it was the whole Beth thing, and then Tyrese. And I mean, Tyrese wouldn't have died if it wouldn't have been for Noah. So,
yeah.
But, so Daryl, on the Sasha and Abraham thing, Daryl leaves them and they basically just keep going, pulling the horde along, or what's half or 3/4 of the horde. Daryl rides out for a ways, and then he hears from Rick that Rick's found the RV and he's getting things going. Well, Rick gets attacked in the RV.
Yep.
So, and it's the wolves that
were leaving Alexandria at that point.
That Morgan didn't kill. So, and Rick almost bites it. I mean, it's pretty close. Now, as Rick's heading toward the RV, and he kills those walkers, and he gets his hand hurt. You saw that, right?
Yeah, he cuts his hand.
So he sticks a knife in, right, in the head of one of the walkers, and he breaks it off like this, boom.
Yeah.
And he cuts himself on the knife piece that's in the walker's head. That's what I thought.
I don't know. I think you just cut it because
just somehow
the book he doesn't have a hand. So
he doesn't have a hand because he got bit,
right,
and they had to cut his arm off.
Yeah. Which that would be and that's if he thought that it was that, I think he would have already cut his hand off.
I think so too. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I don't know.
But
I think
this could be easy. Like now, it's going to be a recurring thing, and it gets infected, and it won't go away. And it's going to have to chop it off.
That's true. Yeah. Somehow we have to get him the artificial. I thought it was his right hand or his right hand, but I think it's his left hand, right? That got cut. So, yeah. Well, anyway, we'll figure it out. But it was good because it was like, oh, this is foreshadowing for what could be a parallel with the comics where he's got an artificial arm. So we'll see what happens there. Definitely something that that could get resolved soon. I love the way that he defended the RV, though. I mean, that was just awesome. The one wolf jumps in and just starts shooting. Of course, it's the one guy who's got a gun, who put the gun up as Morgan was running him out of town. And Rick's just on him in a minute, beating the crap out of him, and ends up getting the gun, shooting both the guys that come in. And then there's 3 other ones that are sneaking around the side. He grabs the one guy's machine gun and just lays into them, and shoots through the wall of the RV and just kills these guys. And then, of course, that attracts the Horde. So now Rick's trapped in the RV. Horde is surrounding him. What's he going to do? So that's kind of where we leave Rick with this episode. It's scary. I mean, it's definitely like, what's going to happen? Because
you can tell Rick is at like a breaking point of where he is just about to completely lose all sanity he's got left.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's trying to start that RV, and he's just like freaking out. Like, what am I going to do? So many plans setting out there, so many irons in the fire, and nothing's going the way it needs to go. And so, yeah, it's scary. And I know Kirkman has said nobody's sacred. He's already said that on this show. Nobody's sacred, and that can't be more obvious than the way this episode ended. Glenn and Nicholas took off, and they were going to go burn down this feed store. And hopefully attract the walkers through burning the feed store down. They come around the corner, and the feed store's already burnt down.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, somebody got there first.
Crap. Now we need another plan.
Right. So it's like, and they're looking around at the other buildings, and nothing else really is going to fit. And the walkers are coming at all sides. So they take off. He's looking to Nicholas. He's like, you're the lead on this. Yeah. Right. What are you going to do? And, Nicholas is like, oh, okay, this way. So they run down this alley, and I'm looking as they're running, and there's like a fire escape. I'm thinking, why don't they just run that fire escape?
Yeah, just move that couch.
They turn around, and there's, all the walkers passing the fire escape and blocking them in. So here they are, end of this alley with nothing but a dumpster. And they both climb up on the dumpster after they've shot and stabbed a few walkers, jump up on the dumpster. They're standing there together. And, Nicholas's thing, I mean, we've talked a little bit about that. In last season, he was a coward. I mean, clearly he stated he was a coward. Him and whatever the other guy's name was, they would go out on runs, and several times it sounds like they've left people behind because they got out there, something happened, and they took off. And that kind of thing, Rick would never tolerate that. I mean, you don't leave people behind. Although this episode seemed to be, you don't leave our group behind, but if they're dead weight, leave them. So it's kind of interesting the way he's got his family, and he doesn't feel like these people from Alexandria are his family yet.
Right.
So it's I think that's interesting. A little bit of a truth about Rick there. So we'll see how that plays out over the coming episodes.
He said some of them were going to die, some of them weren't going to make it.
Yeah, and
keep moving.
A lot of them didn't make it. So in the end, we only have two of the Alexandrites who actually survive. So I don't know. What else do we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about this ending?
I mean, that was just rough.
It was terrible. So the scene we put up for our background is the final scene. You can see the dumpster there. Nobody's on top of it.
It's the final scene for Glenn.
Yeah. I mean, Nicholas stands there with him and him and Glenn on top of the dumpster, and he turns to Glenn and he says, "Thank you." And if you think about, Glenn put faith in him. Glenn, even though Glenn knew what kind of person he was, he thought that he could change, that Nicholas could become something more. And Nicholas had moments where he was...
Yeah, he tried.
You
could see that he was trying.
You could tell he had severe fear still, which is not bad. I mean, you should be afraid of what's going on. But his fear was overwhelming. And he turns to Glenn and says, "Thank you," and puts a gun to his own head and kills himself. And as he's falling, Glenn falls. And they both fall into the Horde. And the next scene you see is Glenn laying there with the zombies ripping goodies out of him.
His guts out and eating them as he's screaming.
Like a Halloween piñata.
Yep.
So, pretty sad. So we lost Glenn Rhee. Very sad. He's been around on this show since... episode 1, really at the end of episode 1, he's like, he's the one who called.
They pulled him in the alley.
Called Rick in the tank. Called him in the tank. So before we even saw him, we heard his voice.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Episode 2 is when he gets out of the tank.
Right. Pizza delivery boy. So he's survived a long time and a lot of things going on. So yeah, it'll be sad. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Maggie and what her reaction is going to be when she finds out. And the bad thing is nobody really knows what happened because nobody who was there survived.
Yeah.
I mean, him and Nicholas both dead. Now, when they fell, I was like, oh, well, maybe Nicholas is on top of him and they're eating Nicholas.
But, I was like, is he going to be able to like they're focused on Nicholas's dead body and he's going to be able to crawl away real quick.
No. Yeah, nope, no such luck. So I think they wanted to give you that little bit of hope.
Yeah. At the end of this, the actual, like the last scene is, Rick sitting in the RV and it won't start. And the horde's coming around him. He's got 3 dead bodies outside, 2 dead bodies inside.
Yep.
His only options, he's going to have to get on top and wait for Daryl.
Yep. And Daryl is not on his way because Daryl went back.
He turned back around.
He
said
Sasha
he was going to lead him, so nobody's coming.
Right. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens with Rick. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just looking at my notes. I made like a whole page of notes. I'm looking to see if there's anything else we want to talk about. I mean, the thank you. I think it's so interesting because it's almost like Glenn's eulogy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you put on Glenn's tombstone? Thank you, because if it weren't for Glenn, Rick never would have survived from the tank. He never would have survived from the beginning. So all the times that Glenn was able to run and do something or go, the car, he hot wires that car in episode 3.
Yeah, the Challenger.
2 or 3, yeah, in Guts. He hot wires that car and takes off in that car and leads the horde one way, and then they're able to get the truck backed up and get everybody loaded into it.
Right.
And that's amazing. He goes on a run with Maggie into town and helps save her and get everything they need for the pharmacy. And there's just so many times when Glenn was an instrumental part of the team, a key part of the team, and he will be sorely missed. So.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. Like I said, next episode, at some point, we're going to have a reaction scene with Maggie. And, she's now lost her entire family and now her husband.
Yep.
So,
dark
days ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we know, in the comics, she ends up becoming the leader of Alexandria. And, the leader of the farm, which is the other walled city. And Rick's the leader of Alexandria. So we know there are 2 walled cities in the comics, but we haven't quite got to that point yet. But she's definitely a leader. And in the show, she's shaping up to be a pretty good leader. She's working with Deanna, definitely stepping up to be the leader that the people need. So we'll see what happens.
Is she pregnant in the show?
I don't think that's come up yet. No. Nope. So, she could be.
I thought there was a reason why Glenn wouldn't let her go and wanted her to stay with that lady other than just, you need to stay with that lady.
I don't believe it's been discussed yet, so no, I don't think it's been told. If she is, that would be interesting.
Right.
I don't think so.
Then we would just have another baby to carry around.
Right. And see, in the comics, her daughter is Sophia.
Oh.
So it's kind of interesting. There's that, or maybe adopted. I don't know. Anyway. I didn't, read some of the early books, but yeah. So I don't know. This was a tough episode for everybody. I think we'll definitely see some interesting reactions over the next few days from people as they watch the episode and react to it. I'm sure we'll see a lot of people going, "Oh no, Glenn is dead," and it's sad, but it's a show.
I'm never gonna watch it again.
Right. Yeah, nobody's gonna riot though if Glenn dies. Only if Daryl dies. When Daryl dies. So. Yep.
Lots of Daryl scenes just riding a motorcycle in this.
Right.
So, all you ladies out there, Daryl Dixon on a motorcycle.
Dirty Daryl. I don't know. Yep. So, but we do appreciate likes, shares, and comments. We had some great comments last time. Folks asking if this is going to be a regular show, and it definitely is. This may not get up on the YouTube channel tonight, but it definitely will get up there first thing in the morning. Just because of the lateness, and it does take some time for our system to process the video, but we'll get it up as soon as we can. Look forward to your comments. Love to have some discussions about what you think about the whole thing. How's Maggie going to take this? What's Rick going to do when he finds out that Glenn is dead? How is that team? Because when you think about what's left of the original group before the farm, it's just Rick and Carl.
Carol.
And no, that's right. Rick and Carol and that's right. We got Rick, Carl, Daryl, and Carol. So those 4 still from the original group, and then Maggie joined them at the farm. So we got 5 people from the original core group that are left, and everybody else is gone.
That's amazing because we started with 20 people.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, we've shown the video or the picture before with the whole group up there on the porch of the farm. It's lots of people we've lost. from Herschel to Dale and just everybody in between. Even Merle, when Merle was lost, it was still I think that was a big thing. A lot of people were going, yeah, but it was still pretty bad.
You're still losing like a really good actor on the show.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay. Great stuff, though. I mean, this was a good episode. Definitely looking forward to next week, see what happens. 90-minute episode next week. So special, like a special one. And then after that, something else I'm really looking forward to, Into the Badlands premieres. A new show on AMC. And that looks awesome.
Yeah, it did. It does look good. Like I saw a preview for it. What's that based on?
I don't know. Looks cool.
We'll look it up. Maybe we'll have one for next week.
Yeah. Yep. So we may do a separate show and talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about both shows next week. You never know. Maybe we'll have half and half. So
AMC all the time.
That's right. We'll call it Bad Talk. Anyway. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for watching or listening or whatever you do. Please leave us some comments. Let us know your thoughts on this whole thing. What would you like to hear us do? Talk about whatever next time. We definitely have a giveaway we want to get scheduled. We tried to do that this last time. I think we got 4 comments on the video. So until we get 10 comments, we just can't give away this cool poster book. Need to have a little bit of incentive,
Right.
So this is 40.
So now on this video, we get to 10, we'll give it away.
Get to 10, we'll give it away. One of you guys will win it. I'll ship it out to you. You don't have to pay anything. It's free, brand new, still in the plastic. 40 posters from Walking Dead. Some really cool posters. You can see those there. Michonne. There's the Well Walker. There's Shane as a zombie, which is cool. You can just put that up on the wall and use it for target practice. There's Rick there in the middle. And just some really great posters from The Walking Dead on AMC. So hopefully we'll get to give that away, and I can get that out from under my desk. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Tell your friends about it. Pass it on to them. We really appreciate that. All right. And we'll see you next week.
All right. Have a good one.